Hello and welcome to the Monday edition of Talking Football, where we take a close look at all the events from the French and Spanish leagues. And with me here to do it are Amit Leventhal, football analyst for the Israel Hayom Daily, and I24 news reporter Michael Friedman, who will update us on everything happening in the press. Hello, gentlemen.
Hello.
Paris Saint-Germain are the big winners of the French Classic. Barcelona narrowly escapes a third successive loss, and business as usual for Real Madrid. All that and much more coming up. Here we go. We begin with Barcelona, who won 2-1 in Almeria after being down at halftime. Amit, Luis Suarez came in at halftime. He changed things and seemed like he finally found his place in the team.
Yeah, he actually was the star of the game, and he actually saved his coach because Luis Enrique, he was under fire, and if Barcelona would have lost the game, it was all about him because he made terrible choices in the starting 11, playing with, his rotation did not make any sense. Starting Messi alongside the young Munir and Pedro, and at halftime, Neymar came on, and Suarez got two great assists. And despite their bad organization, they miss precision and they lack of fluidity in the game. The midfield doesn't look the same as old Barca. Despite all that, they got the narrow win that brings them a lot of oxygen.
Absolutely. Who knows where this could have gone if Barcelona would have lost for the third successive time. Michael, what is the press thinking about Suarez finally finding his place?
Yeah, so the Guardian read Luis Suarez set up two late goals to lead Barcelona 2-1 to the comeback victory. Everybody's speaking of Luis Suarez and how this is, the beginning for him, and to hopefully make sure that this is the right decision for him to be playing and to move together with Neymar and Messi, and ultimately they're looking at him as a key player.
And the question, Suarez is good. Is he stepping on Messi's on Messi's foot? Because Messi was not good in this game, but he did score twice in the Champions League last week.
Well, this South American trio of Messi, Neymar, and Suarez, they predict so much, the numbers are going to get so high that obviously there will be some cannibalism in terms of football. One will going to score, we see it with Neymar already scoring 10 league goals this season, more than he scored last season, only 9, yes. And Messi is, having more assists. But on the other hand, the defenders are going to, give more focus on the other players, so Messi will get maybe more freedom. Anyway, Suarez is much more than a scorer. That's what he proved.
Absolutely.
And he facilitates the team very, very good.
And now let's move to their biggest rivals, Real Madrid. They beat Rayo Vallecano 5-1 at home, and they pretty much set up a standard of at least 4 goals per match. They're scary, works so good, and they don't even have to rely on Ronaldo, or he scores, but Bale scores, James scores, Benzema scores. There's always someone around.
Yes, and maybe the major change of Real's of last year was, or last even couple of years, is that they are not dependent anymore on Ronaldo's ability. He scores his goals. He has already more than 20 goals and 18 only in the league.
18 only in the Spanish league.
Yeah, which is much more than most of other teams. But it seems that even if without Ronaldo, they are a great team, and their success is because they are playing as a team, and it's very unpredictable because suddenly you need to close down other big players, big star players. Toni Kroos has been wonderful as well. James Rodriguez, is gelling in. So they look frightening, and I think the next month also they have some easy games coming soon.
So it will only continue
the big
like this.
tests will not be in the near future. It will be interesting to see how long the streak will continue. I think 13 consecutive wins.
And Michael, we're not the only ones speaking about the fact that Real Madrid is far more than just Cristiano Ronaldo. The press is speaking about someone else who wasn't there for a while.
Gareth Bale, who's been stricken with injuries, so him being back was very big news. They called this this match a goal rush because everybody was getting into it. So besides for just Cristiano Ronaldo, there was also Gareth Bale, who was the big name in this game as well.
And so Real Madrid, as we say, Amit, we should continue to see this. No one's really going to be there to score probably until the next time they meet Atletico at the Vicente Calderón.
Yeah, well, there are other maybe tricky games away from the Bernabeu. But Real looks fine, and we'll see. Only injuries to Ronaldo or any major issue could change. They have this issue with the goalkeepers. Keylor Navas played in this game, but no one really talks about him because he doesn't have anything to do. Him or Casillas. So the goalkeeper issue is not an issue. Is a non-issue so far. But we'll have to see. In the latter stages. In the Europe and in the league. The big question is if Barcelona and Atletico will keep up the pace that Real is setting.
You've mentioned Atletico. They lost 2-1 to Real Sociedad. Now I want to ask you, I asked you 2 weeks ago about the smaller teams, we call them Atletico, Valencia, Seville, if they can catch up. You gave me 2 answers. One was no, the longer one was no-ho. Well, Atletico Madrid lost, Seville and Valencia did not win. Apparently the gap is beginning to open.
I'm not one who tends to be the Schadenfreude.
You can say I told you. You can say it's fine.
Anyway, but you see, it's Sociedad is, by the way, Real Sociedad is an amazing story. They are a team from the bottom. They have only 2 wins all the season against Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid. So it's freak. And by the way, they played this game without a coach and won against the champions.
Oh, what do you need a coach for? Come on.
So exactly. But Atletico has big problems with their game. They have this character to grind wins, but the problem is that they score too many goals from set pieces. 14 of their 20 this year from open play. It's not fluid. It's not sophisticated. There is a list of the dribble. A table of the dribbling teams, and in that term, in that table they're ranked 18th. So they need to bring up more individual spark, and Mandzukic needs to be like Diego Costa, sharper in front of goal.
That's the place where you miss those Diego Costas who move to the bigger money now. Chelsea, as we have mentioned, Valencia and Seville were both unable to win. The team from Andalusia only managed a 1-1 draw at home against Levante. There were no goals in the match between Valencia and Athletic Bilbao at the Mestalla. Malaga are closing in following their 2-win over Eibar. Real Madrid is at the top with 27 points and a very impressive goal difference. Second is Barcelona with 25, 1 more than Valencia, who is third. Next are Atletico Madrid and Seville, both with 23 points, followed by Malaga with 21. Now to France, where there is one big winner following this weekend. We're speaking about Paris Saint-Germain. The champions faced league leaders Marseille in the French Classique, and they came out victorious. Lucas Moura was on target in the first half. Edison Cavani, who just can't stop scoring recently, added 1 more late in the match. Even Zlatan was finally on the pitch for a few minutes. At the end, PSG wins the match 2-0. Last night's match was not only a clash between the teams, but also one between 2 coaches with completely different approaches. In one corner, we have the calm and quiet Laurent Blanc. On the other, it's the high-tempered Marcelo Bielsa, who has rightfully deserved the nickname El Loco. Lise Barnbaum and Michael Friedman with the story of 2 completely different managers looking for the same goal.
If fate chose 2 opposing characters, they could not have done any better. With different personalities and emotions, the 2 have very unique coaching styles. Laurent Blanc has been nicknamed the President, whereas Marcelo Bielsa is known as El Loco. Beyond the teams, it was a shock of 2 titans that took place in the 13th day of Ligue 1. The coach of PSG and former defender has the qualities of his former position. Blanc has played in France, Italy, and England, and was part of the world champions in 1998. A beautiful career of a player who ended up on the bench as a top coach. He was the coach of Bordeaux and won the title over Lyon, who was the reigning champions of Ligue 1 for 7 consecutive years. In May 2010, it was a huge moment in his career as he became the coach of France after the World Cup in South Africa. A period which ended after the 2012 Euros and just before his new adventure with PSG. The Classico last night showed the 2 different coaching styles, but Blanc always recognizes the qualities of his opponents.
Marseille was better than us in the first 25 minutes, including physically, in racing and duels, and they were fresher than us in that area. But I think it also made us aware that we had to raise our level individually and collectively and try to take a little more risk.
Faced with Laurent Blanc, Marcelo Bielsa hoped for a memorable result for his side. The coach gained his great reputation in South America thanks to his sharp and tactical methods. This passionate footballer has never truly proven himself as a player, but his craziness and work ethic enabled him to reach the heights as a coach with the Argentine club Rosario. Despite his determination, he was not successful with Espanyol, as he left prematurely after only 6 games. He then headed the Argentine national team, and the success story continued when he was the coach of the Chilean national team, and then Athletic Bilbao. He reached the Cup final and the Europa League final. He has led Marseille since May 2014 and came to Ligue 1 with promising results. Last night, Bielsa has felt the challenge of PSG, but his squad did not have enough in the end.
In the first period, from my point of view, the difference should be in our favor in the second half, and we gradually lost the ability to hurt our opponent.
Laurent Blanc's side prevailed last night in the Parc des Princes and are sailing slowly but surely towards the top of Ligue 1.
Amit, we'll begin with PSG, Laurent Blanc's PSG. This is the place where experience, depth, money talks. And we saw it, Lucas Moura, Edison Cavani. Marseille, they don't even have players of such caliber in their squad.
Yes, and the fact is that since the Qataris bought Paris in 2011, Paris has never lost in the Classique. They won actually 7th Classique in a row, and you see it's actually not been the game, the major game of the season, because Marseille was not at the top in the last couple of years. This time, Marseille got from the first. They knew even that even if they lose, they will stay top. But of course, no one. It's a big surprise because when we spoke in the beginning of the year, we thought, if the season, we thought that Paris will win the title by November, by December.
And if someone's going to bother them, it may be Monaco.
Exactly. The fact that it's still tight, at the top, you see from until 4th place, Bordeaux over there, you see that it's very tight and it's good for the league. But no one has any doubt that Paris, they started very slow. Still, they're not playing to their potential. But you see, yesterday when Zlatan came on, he created 2-3 chances. But even without Zlatan, they still are much better. And Marseille will need to work hard. They have talent players. They have great coach. But now they're on a slicky move. They lost 3 of the last 4. They need after the international break to get back to the work.
Now, when they lost their 2 big tests against PSG last night, against Lyon 2 weeks earlier. That's where you got to show your talent. Maybe they're not up there. They're first in the league, but when it comes to meeting the big boys, not so much.
But we must remember always that you take championships, you take major titles, but by winning against smaller teams. If you win twice against your biggest rivals and
you lose points in the small.
Yes, and it's the same in all of the leagues. It's the difference between Chelsea and Manchester City is 8 points, not because the draw between them, but because the results against
the QPRs.
Exactly. So it's the same here. If Marseille and Lyon don't play in Europe this year, so maybe it will be a kind of test for PSG. If they manage to to take the results against the smaller teams,
they'll stick up there.
Then maybe, but it's all up to it all depends on Paris.
And Michael, what's the press saying about the French Classique?
So there was a lot of anticipation with this match and with this big win for PSG. They talked about how they were able to trim the gap to just 1 point. So looking at this game, it's very, very important that PSG was able to break through and win.
Could be the season-changing game.
Exactly, for them to move forward and be the top tier and win and go on and win.
Absolutely. So
one interesting thing we saw when Zlatan came in, he and Cavani, they have bad relationship, and he didn't pass. Cavani was free and Zlatan didn't. So something is not good there in the dressing room, and things need to be addressed. Laurent Blanc needs to solve these things.
And you could obviously see how big Cavani was when Zlatan was not around. He scored in each big game PSG had recently when Zlatan was out.
Yes, important goals, but the issue is that they are not getting well together. They are not friends, and they are not talking. They don't like each other, and on top of that, they hate playing along each other because Cavani prefers to play in the middle, but if Zlatan plays he has
to move aside.
Yeah, so we'll have to see what will be there. I'm sure that one of them will not be in the team next season. But it will be interesting to see if they cooperate.
We'll follow that absolutely. In other results from France, Bordeaux made sure they're still up with the top teams when they won 2-1 in Lens, just 5 days after firing coach Claude Makelele. Bastia finally got the 3 points. The club for Corsica beat Montpellier 2-0, and Lyon won their 5th successive match, this time leaving Guingamp behind 3-1. Marseille are still first, but their lead at the top is now down to just a point over champions PSG. Look at Lyon at third, just a point behind, and even Bordeaux and Nantes are not far behind. Amit Leventhal, Michael Friedman, thank you very much. You will be with us again tomorrow, and we will also be again tomorrow for the Tuesday edition, this time covering all the events from England and Germany. Thank you for watching, and have a beautiful day.